Welcome back, Tacticians. History teaches us that power is seized, maintained, and defended, often in the shadows where daylight cannot reach. We think of warfare as armies clashing across fields and fortifications, standing defiant against siege. But there exists another kind of war, far quieter and infinitely more enduring. A struggle fought not with swords but with secrets, stone by stone, board by board. Imagine a secret society, not of assassins, but of builders. For centuries, medieval guilds guarded techniques passed down through decades of apprenticeship, restricted access to the finest materials on earth, and constructed edifices so formidable they've survived wars, plagues, and the merciless assault of time itself. But what if I told you that beneath the grand cathedrals and elegant bridges of medieval Europe, a hidden war was being fought? A war over banned timber, illicit knowledge, and architectural secrets that shaped civilization itself. Today, we uncover the unseen war that built empires in stone, and the men who would kill to keep its secrets. Medieval guilds were far more than trade associations or professional clubs. They were ruthless monopolies wielding economic and political power, rivaling small nations. Masons, carpenters, and woodworkers controlled entire industries, market prices, and the very knowledge required to build anything of consequence. A master mason spent decades acquiring secrets, understanding stone properties, weight distribution mathematics, the psychology of an arch. An apprentice might labor 7 to 10 years before glimpsing these secrets. These weren't casual partnerships, they were blood oaths of silence, binding men to protect their craft's mysteries under penalty of expulsion, financial ruin, or worse. Guilds dictated who could build, how structures would be designed, what materials could be used, and where those materials came from. They enforced quality standards and ensured outsiders who dared attempt their craft faced swift, devastating consequences. A man without guild membership attempting sophisticated masonry in a major city might find himself permanently banned from working, his reputation destroyed, his ability to feed his family severed. This control granted extraordinary economic power. Guilds monopolized access to the finest timber merchants, purest lime sources, and highest quality stone quarries. They bottlenecked supply, inflated prices, and ensured members always possessed what others desperately needed. This was capitalism in its rawest form, controlled, ruthless, and absolute. In medieval Europe, wood wasn't merely a building material, it was civilization's lifeblood. Ships demanded it, fortifications required it, cathedrals rose upon wooden scaffolding and rested upon beams that bore weight across generations. The right tree, felled at the right time, could outlast empires. Certain varieties became sacred within guild circles. Oak, particularly slow-grown old-growth oak from ancient forests, was prized above all else. Why? Because slow growth creates denser, harder wood with tighter grain structures that resist rot, insects, and relentless decay. A cathedral beam of prime English oak could outlast 100 inferior structures built with younger, faster-grown wood. Medieval builders understood wood density and aging centuries before scientists formalized the knowledge. Lime wood commanded reverence for intricate carving, elm resisted water damage for submerged foundations, and beech and ash possessed specific properties, making them irreplaceable for specialized applications. But here lay the conspiracy. Guilds systematically restricted access to these premium varieties, not always through law, but through control of timber merchants, agreements with foresters, and subtle manipulation of supply chains. The result was artificial scarcity, a thriving black market in shadow and whispered transactions. A desperate builder might seek illicit suppliers operating beyond guild jurisdiction, paying premium prices for wood smuggled from restricted forests or purchased from corrupt merchants willing to betray their oaths. Tales exist of timber yards operating under darkness, wood hidden in warehouses and moved only when guild inspectors looked the other way. Medieval builders possessed no chemistry textbooks, yet their structures outlasted time with consistency, modern engineers find astounding. How, you might wonder? Well, through carefully guarded, meticulously refined secret practices transmitted orally through apprenticeship. Lime wash technology represents the most brilliant example. Slaked lime mixed with water, plant proteins, and animal fats created a protective coating far more sophisticated than white paint suggests. Applied correctly, it killed pathogens, repelled insects, allowed wood to breathe while shedding water, and hardened over decades as it absorbed carbon dioxide, forming crystalline protective layers. Guilds guarded exact proportions with legendary jealousy. Oil treatments, linseed and fish oils, penetrated wood fibers, hardening them and creating moisture resistance that was nearly miraculous. But specific preparation methods, heating techniques and ratios remained locked within guild secrets. A mason might know oil improved durability. A master mason knew precisely which oils, in what proportions, applied at what season, under what conditions, would create timber lasting centuries. Hidden reinforcements reveal architectural sophistication challenging modern assumptions. Within stone joints and beneath wooden beams, guilds secretly embedded iron clamps, pegs, and brackets bearing tremendous stress. Invisible reinforcements absolutely essential to structural integrity. These appear precisely where stress concentrates, in arches bearing massive weight, timber joints supporting vaulted ceilings, hidden depths where stone meets stone. Only modern archaeological study revealed that visible craftsmanship was actually supported by invisible iron skeletons, engineered with precision rivaling modern knowledge. Medieval joinery achieved genius-level sophistication. Mortise and tenon joints, dovetails, and unknown variations allowed builders to create remarkable strength despite lacking bolts and rivets. Each joint represented years of experimentation, each variation a refinement discovered through costly trial and failure. These secrets were worth more than gold. The unseen war erupted most violently where guild power competed for supremacy. Rival masons in neighboring cities engaged in constant architectural competition, not openly but through arms races of materials and techniques. A magnificent cathedral in one city could threaten another's prestige and prosperity. Medieval records speak of master masons bribed away from rivals, forced to divulge secrets under threat. Some accounts tell of sabotage, subtle damage meant to cause failure years after construction, destroying reputations and forcing expensive repairs. Weakened joints deliberately created, inferior timber deliberately substituted, lime wash mixed incorrectly, all invisible at completion, all devastating when failure came. Guilds policed their own mercilessly. A mason caught sharing secrets faced ruination, expelled, his name stripped from records, his ability to work in major cities terminated, enforcement of oaths sometimes turned brutal, as guilds held quasi-governmental authority in their domains. The cat-and-mouse game extended to material sourcing. Guild-allied merchants might suddenly restrict supplies to non-members, driving prices skyward. Competitors found quality oak unavailable at any price, not from depletion, but from guild-allied merchants refusing to sell outsiders. Stand before any medieval cathedral today, and you're gazing at the trophy case of this hidden war. The structures that survived represent victory of guild-controlled knowledge and premium materials. Tree ring analysis reveals the sophistication of medieval sourcing. Timber in Notre Dame, Westminster Abbey, and great castles comes from slow-grown trees harvested in specific regions, at specific times. These weren't random boards. They were chosen with precision born of centuries of accumulated, jealously guarded knowledge. Iron reinforcements hidden within medieval stonework were literally invisible until modern conservation work. We're still discovering technological secrets builders considered so proprietary they embedded them invisibly, where only future restorers would ever know they existed. This explains the longevity distinguishing medieval construction. A cathedral built by guild masters with premium oak, secret reinforcements, and proprietary preservation techniques could stand for 1,000 years. Medieval guilds fought their unseen war not for immediate profit, but for immortality. By controlling materials and knowledge, they weren't merely enriching themselves. They were building monuments outlasting empires, bearing silent testimony to their superiority for centuries. Every reinforced arch, every aged timber, every stone mortared with proprietary techniques represented victory in a war that never truly ended. That war hasn't ended. Today, we see it in patent battles and restricted access to advanced methods. The fundamental human desire to control valuable knowledge and build superiority into structures outlasting us, that impulse is timeless. The next time you see medieval structure still standing after centuries, know you're witnessing the physical remains of a war you never knew was fought. A war where knowledge was the ultimate weapon, where premium materials were spoils, and where secrets literally built our world. If this journey into shadowed medieval power compels you, like, share, and subscribe to The Lost Tactician. Here we excavate history as urgent lessons in how power, knowledge, and human resilience shape civilization. Then and now, the secrets of history await. Stay vigilant, tacticians.